welcome today's morning yoga practice. It is Monday, Easter Monday, and welcome. Looking forward to moving with you again this morning, and I'm just going to wait a few minutes for people just joining us. If you're just joining us, you could get yourself set up with your mat and any props and maybe some water. So just take a moment or two to get yourself set up here. It's another beautiful day. Hello, everybody. If you're just joining us, I'm just going to give everyone a minute or two. So get yourself set up, your mat, your props, whatever else you need. I just grabbed some water. And if you could find a comfortable seat, if that's good for you. If not, you could lie down or find child's pose. And we're going to start by connecting into our breath. So if you're just joining us, just getting settled, we're just going to spend some time connecting with our breath. If you have already joined, you could start connecting into your breath now. Couple options. You could take a hand over your belly, a hand over your heart, connecting into your breath this way. You could breathe into your heart space, you could breathe into your belly, or you can keep your hands on your lap. And something I do is often if my mind is really, really busy, is I will count as I breathe in. So I'll count to, depending on the capacity of my breath in that moment, I'll count as I breathe into 4 or 5 or 6, and then let my exhale be just as long or sometimes longer. So you could count as you breathe in and then count as you breathe out. It'll just really help to bring your mind into the present moment. Oh, hello everybody. Lots of people saying hi. Hello, hello. Good to see you all. So we're just starting with our breath, and if you've already joined and you're already breathing, that's great. If you've just joined, we're connecting into an inhale and exhale, either with your inhale and exhale the same length or your exhale a little bit longer. And you could count as you're breathing in and then count as you're breathing out. If it's comfortable to close your eyes, I would highly recommend closing your eyes and bringing a focus to wherever you feel comfortable. Sometimes I bring my awareness right into my third eye point, which is center of your forehead, between your eyebrows. Sometimes I bring my awareness into my heart center, my heart chakra in the center of my chest. Sometimes I bring it down towards my navel. So just wherever it feels natural for you to bring your focus and awareness. And see if you can start bringing a little bit more awareness to your breath and just noticing your thoughts as they move through. Trying to not fixate on any one story or any one thought. Just letting them move, come in, acknowledge them, let them move through, and come back to your breath when you notice maybe you've been taken away by your thoughts. As you're breathing, you could also start to soften your jaw, muscles in your face, your forehead, your eyebrows, shoulders, hips. You can also start to lengthen, lift up through the center of your heart, shoulders roll back. You could lengthen up through the top of your head, at the same time keeping your sit bones rooted. Now open the practice with the universal sound of Om. You're more than welcome to join in. You're also welcome to just enjoy and listen. Hopefully enjoy and listen. Let's start with a clearing breath. Deep breath in. Exhale. And then inhale. Take a moment to bow your head towards your heart. Take a moment of gratitude here. Surrender your mind to your heart space. Allow yourself to move in a way that supports you here today. So begin to lift your head, open your eyes. So I'm going to give a lot of options because we're not all in the same space. Just really checking in with your body as you move to make sure that you're not going to hurt yourself in some way. So finding something that works. If what I'm offering isn't working for you at all, just come on out. Just trust in your body's wisdom, okay? So let's start here in tabletop, and we'll begin to move here. So just warming up a little bit through our spine, arching and rounding. Finding a connection with the movement and your breath, so you could exhale to round if that feels good, chin towards your chest. Inhale, lift your sit bones, lift your heart. Any other movement here that feels good? So a little side to side, circles. Now I'm going to pop into Child's Pose for a few breaths here. You're more than welcome to keep moving through cat and cow in tabletop, or you can move up to downward dog. And just take a few breaths wherever it is that you are. And when you're ready, let's rise back up to tabletop. Now take your right arm, open it up towards the right side, weave it underneath your left arm, come down onto your right side, and your left arm can extend forward here. Couple deep breaths. If this causes too much pressure on your shoulder, just come on out and find something different. Keep moving through cat and cow, perhaps. And when you're ready, press down, let's rise, come back up, and take an inhale, take your left arm out and weave it underneath your right, come down onto your left shoulder, left side of your head, and extend your right arm forward here. Breathe deeply up into your shoulder blades, relax your shoulder blades onto your back. And when you're ready, we're going to rise and come back up to tabletop. Come back in the center for a moment, or move through cat and cow. And we're going to move into downward facing dog. For those of you where you find down dog too much on your shoulders or your arms, you could stay in child's pose, or you could walk your hands back and roll up onto your feet
and come right into a forward fold here, okay? So I did post up the classes that I'll be teaching for the next couple weeks in an event and also in a post on my page. If you're enjoying the classes, I'll ask you to invite your friends, share with your friends, post it up on whatever pages that you're involved in, get the word out if you feel called to do that, for sure. I'd love to see some more people joining us, and I'm really grateful for all of you. So thank you for tuning in all these different times. It's been great to see so many people coming to yoga, coming back to yoga. So we're going to step or walk forward and come into a forward fold right at the front of your mat or towards the front of your mat. And you could grab opposite elbows here. You could let your arms hang, shake out your head. If folding that deeply is too much, bend your knees a bit more and place your elbows just above your knees and connect to your breath this way. I'm just going to make a little bit of movement here. You can feel free to join me, moving from your left foot to your right foot, or side to heel to toe, or you could sway your upper body a little bit if that feels good, or you could stay in the center here as well. When you're ready, take your hands to the front of your shins and straighten your arms, lift up halfway, shoulders roll back, heart draws forward. Exhale, fold in. When you're doing that, you could look up if you want, but lengthening the top of your head forward, just keeping your neck long. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold back in. One more time here. Now I'm going to ragdoll to stand, but you could rise and come up with one breath. If you're ragdolling, press through your legs, slowly rise. Let your head be the last thing that lifts up. Take a breath in here at the top. Good. Now, if you're just joining us, just getting yourself set up, maybe just warm up a little bit, child's pose, move through cat and cow on tabletop. All right, we're going to take a breath in. Let's reach our arms up overhead, and then exhale, let's fold forward. As you're folding forward and down, you could bring your hands to your shins again. You could use blocks or hands on the floor. Lift up halfway, inhale. And then exhale, fold back in. And we're going to rise back up to stand, reach your arms up. And hands come down to heart center. And inhale, let's reach our arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Begin to lift up about halfway, inhale. This time we're going to take a big step back with our left foot. Bring your left knee down to the ground. Now, if you have any kind of rolled up blanket or cushion, you could place that underneath your back knee. Let's lift up here, hands to your front leg. We're going to take a little bit of a twist here. I'm actually going to turn to face you so you can see my upper body a bit better this way. So arms reaching up. You're going to grab a hold of your opposite wrist. So if your right leg is forward, grab your left wrist if you can, and you're just going to draw over towards the right side, shoulders back, rooting down through your left side. Connect to your breath here. And inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, we're going to bring our hands down. Frame your front foot, lift your back knee off the ground. Shoulders come back, maybe pop up to fingertips. Really press down into your feet. So activate your legs, hips start to lift, shoulders back. If you have blocks here, some of you do, you could bring your hands up to your yoga blocks as well. And we're just staying low. We're just staying really low here, really charging your back leg up, your back heels lifted, maybe cores engaged. And when you're ready, we're going to step back, and you can come to downward dog, or you could lift up to three-legged dog, lifting your right leg up behind you, maybe pressing your left heel towards the ground, And take a breath or two here. And whenever you're ready, coming to bring both feet down to the ground, let's inhale, come forward to plank pose. Knees come down to the ground, shoulders back. Gauge your core. You could keep your hips lifted, maybe do a little tilt up through your sit bones, and then bend your elbows, lower chin, chest down, and then slide your legs back. So if you're having a hard time coming down, it's probably one of the most challenging parts of yoga is coming down, which we call Chaturanga. And if your shoulders are not strong, you're going to maybe do some injury, some damage there. So if you're not quite strong, knees come down. And even at that, if you can't lower, you can just come down to forearms first and lower down. So try to be really mindful that your shoulders are back and down and engaged here. Good. All right. Just my little tip. I don't want anyone getting injured at home while practicing yoga, while we're all at home. All right. Hands underneath your shoulders. So you can keep your forehead down here, press into your feet, then start to lift your head. Your gaze stays down. You can lift your hands away from your mat, a little bit of core engagement here. You could also reach your hands back, or you could press into your palms slightly, lift up for Cobra. As you lift up, try not again to dip your shoulders forward, roll them back and down. Lift through the center of your heart. And then we're going to lower down, press back to tabletop, and let's move back to downward dog, or you can move into child's pose. Okay, so take a few breaths. Now, from down dog or tabletop, we're going to step our left foot forward. Okay, give it a little help. Grab your ankle, pull it forward if you need to. Back knee starts on the ground. Bring your hands up to your front leg. Okay, so we're going to do that little bit of a twist again. Arms reach up. This time, with your left leg forward, grab your right wrist, lengthen up, and then you're tipping over towards the left. Shoulders back. Breathing here. And when you're ready, we're coming back to the center, placing your hands down. Lift your back knee, charge your back leg straight. Again, for those of you that want to use yoga blocks here, you can lift your back heel high, charge your back leg up, shoulders back, heart forward. Couple more breaths, really pressing down through your feet. Find a little lift through your hips here. When you're ready, hands come down and downward dog, or for those of you that took three-legged dog, lift your left leg up behind you. Maybe root your right heel down a little bit. Whew, my legs are a little shaky. And when you're ready, both feet come down. Take a breath in, come forward to plank pose. Knees come down. Lift your sit bones slightly, bend your elbows, chest comes down, and then move your legs back. So you could come into low cobra again. You could lift up a bit higher if you did last time as well. Take a couple breaths here or even just here. When you're ready, let's move back to child's pose or downward dog, your choice. Couple breaths here. And when you're ready, we're going to step or walk your feet forward. Take a forward fold at the front of your mat. Let's just pause for a moment here. Grab opposite elbows, let your head hang or let your arms hang. Take a clearing breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth. You do that a couple more times. And then take an inhale to lift up about halfway. Keep yourself lifted up halfway. Engage your core, hands to your hips. Press through your legs. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, hands by your side. Let's take a breath or two in mountain pose. Good. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, bow forward. Come back into your forward fold. Now let's find a lift up halfway here again. This time we're going to step our right foot back and place your right knee down to the ground and then rise and come up. So I'm going to face you again. So we're going to do a... So remember, if your back knee feels tender, if you have a yoga block, place it underneath, or place a roll-up blanket or a folded-up blanket or something underneath. Okay, so eagle arms, take your arms wide to the side. So we're going to take our right arm underneath our left, wrap as high up on your forearm or upper arms as you can. Now if you're stuck here, you're going to grab opposite shoulders, take your elbows up, roll your shoulders back and down. If you can, you're going to continue to wrap your arms. You're going to grab the thumb, the bottom of your thumb pad here, and then shoulders back. Maybe forearms draw forward. So if your hands are really close to your face here, try to get your shoulders back and then maybe move your palms forward. A couple more breaths in eagle arms here. Now if you're quite open here, you could begin to lift your elbows and maybe even lean back into a bit of a back bend here. Keeping your core engaged. Take one more breath in. On your exhale, place your hands down, lift your back knee, and let's step back, downward facing dog. And your choice here to stay in down dog. If you'd like to come into child's pose, you can, or you can start to move through vinyasa, which is when we come forward to plank, knees up or knees down, lowering down, finding cobra, your choice, back bend, and then back to child's pose or back to downward dog. Take a clearing breath. And then we're going to step our right foot forward. Back knee comes down. Hands come up to your hips or your front leg. Arms come wide again. So eagle arms. This time we're going to take our left arm underneath our right. Remember, if you get stuck here, grab opposite shoulders. If not, wrap your arms around. Take your shoulders down and away from your ears, palms moving forward slightly. Stay in your lunge, maybe settle in. Take a few more breaths. And as you exhale, begin to unwind. Place your hands down and let's step back to downward dog. Again, you can choose child's pose. You can stay in down dog, or you can move through vinyasa here. Maybe a clearing breath or two. And let's step or walk forward to the front of our mat, taking a forward fold here. And then let's take a nice slow ragdoll up to stand, taking your time. One vertebrae at a time, shoulders roll back. Just take a moment to pause. Come back to your breath, maybe that slowing your breath down a little bit, but feeling the connection that you have to the ground. Okay, so you could interlace your hands behind you here, draw your elbows in. So you don't have to have your arms straight for this, just rolling your shoulders back and down, lifting through your heart. Or you could start to straighten out your arms, moving your knuckles down. Let's take a breath in here. Actually, let's move our feet just slightly wider. Okay, take a breath in. And then bend your knees, bow forward. Now if your hands are on your lower back, keep them there, hug your elbows in. If your arms are straight, try to lift your knuckles up towards the ceiling. Connecting to your breath here. Shoulders roll back and away from your ears. And when you're ready, you're going to release your hands down to the ground. Take an inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale, fold back in. And again, inhale, lift up halfway. And then exhale, fold. Take your first two fingers, your peace sign fingers, and take those fingers right in between your big toe and second toe, and then hook them underneath your big toe. Find some length. Now, as you try to press down into your fingers, you're going to lift your fingers up towards your toes, so there's a resistance. You could bend your elbows perhaps, bend your knees as much as you need to here. Some of you may not even be able to take this bind. That's totally okay. Just finding a regular forward fold, maybe grabbing opposite elbows, shoulders away from your ears, connecting to your breath. Press down through your feet. And when you're ready, let's release the bind. Take an inhale, lift up halfway, and then exhale, fold in. Let's take a step back with our left foot. We're going to come up to warrior two. Place your back heel to the ground. Your back foot's pointing to the side of your mat. When you're ready, let's rise. All right. So warrior two legs, front heel lines up with the middle of your back foot. So you can stay with your hands on your hips. You could extend your arms out here. You could also look forward. Find a little bit of softness in your upper body where your legs are super strong and holding you here. Couple more breaths. Now bring your back hand down. Turn your front palm to face towards the ceiling. Take a breath in, reach your front arm up and maybe tip back a little bit here. A little bit of a side body opening in the front. Connect to your breath. Shoulder blades onto your back. You could keep your knee bent, or you could straighten out your front leg, find a a little bit more length, and then tipping back. And come back through the center, hands to your hips. Let's turn our feet in, and let's turn our left foot in the opposite direction, coming to warrior two on the other side here. Settling in, connecting to your breath. And as you're ready, back hand comes down, front palm turns to face the ceiling, reaching up, shoulder blades onto your back here, maybe some of you tipping back a little bit. Couple more breaths here. And again, you can stay here with your front knee bent, or you're going to straighten out your front leg, lengthen up a little bit, and maybe tipping back a bit. And coming back through the center, hands to your hips. Let's turn both feet back towards the long edge of your mat. Now, turning your right foot back forward. Let's come back with a bend into our front knees. So you can see my front knee's over my ankle here. So if your front knee pops forward of your ankle, it just means you need to walk your back leg a little further back just to protect your knee joint here. So we're going to come back into eagle arms. So take your back arm underneath your front, wrap them around here. Lift your elbow, shoulders back. Again, you can take the opposite shoulder option as well. You can stay lifted here and just work on eagle arms, or some of you might want to dive forward to the inside of your front leg, keeping your back foot rooted and reaching your fingertips forward. Shoulders come back and down here still. Core's engaged. Couple more breaths. You're going to press down and rise, unravel your arms, straighten out your front leg, take a breath in,
And then exhale, hands to your hips. Take your feet to the long edge of your mat, and let's turn our left foot to face back. So bending into your left leg again, arms extend out. This time right arm comes underneath your left, back arm underneath your front one. Take a breath in here, shoulders back. Keep your back leg really engaged as you come down to the inside, or you can stay lifted up. If you're coming down, reaching your fingertips forward, shoulder blades back onto your back. Hug your legs in. Couple more breaths here. Pressing down, unraveling. Take a breath in and exhale. So turning your feet back to the long edge of your mat. So we're going to take a wide-legged forward fold here, and option to release your hands down. Some of you may want to take a bind behind you again, clasping your hands, take a breath in, and then exhale, fold. If you feel any pressure in your shoulders while you do this, release your arms. Try not to create more tension here. So you could just have your hands down on the ground and just adjusting your stride as you need. You could make some movement here, or you could just pause here in the center. We're going to spend about 4 or 5 more breaths here. Now, as you're ready, place your hands underneath your shoulders. You may want to walk your feet in slightly here. Keep a bend in your knees, hands to your hips or upper legs. Let's rise and come all the way up to stand. And then let's walk our feet in and come to mountain pose. You could also shake it out a little bit. Make a little bit of movement. Clearing breath or two. Okay. So we're going to work on a couple of balances today. We're going to start in what looks like chair pose, but it's figure 4. So standing pigeon or standing figure 4 pose. And if you have something to hold onto, a wall, a couch, or whatever, a bed, wherever it is that you're practicing, it could help, okay? And you want to really work on getting into your hips. So I'm going to face this way just for a second, because you want to avoid bringing your knee forward this way. You want to be able to sit your hips and back and down this way. So your knees over your ankle still. Okay. So start by standing on your right foot. You're going to have a little bend. You're going to sit your hips down as you lift your left knee, place your left foot on your upper leg, and then you're going to sit back and down and maybe lean in. Now, some of you, again, use some support for balance if you need to here. Okay. Now, you can hold your leg, you could have your hands at heart center, and the deeper you sit back and down, the more you're going to feel. And then you're just going to connect into your breath here. You can feel that one coming. If you fall out, just making your way back in as you need. Try to relax into your shoulders. And when you're ready, you're going to press down, rise, come up, shake it out a little bit, do a little dance. Oh boy. Okay, so the other side is going to feel different. And as you get there, sitting back and down, and maybe lowering your upper body here. And wherever it is that you are, connecting into your breath here. Time to come back up and shake that out a little bit here. All right, just going to take a little sip of water here and before we get into our next balance. All right, so for this next one, I like to teach it in 2 parts.
for eagle pose. We did this maybe a week or two ago. We did the eagle arms earlier, so here. And if this is working for you, you can hang out in eagle arms, okay? The other part is eagle legs. So similar to our last pose, you want your hips to come back and down. One leg wraps over the other, okay? And then you want to try to lift your upper body slightly, so you don't necessarily want to be hunched over. So you could work with just the legs here. Hands at your hips or hands at your heart. Or you could come into full eagle. Or you could skip the legs. Just work with the arms. Okay, so I'm gonna guide us in. It's a lot of information, I know, but let's focus on the legs first, and if you want to add the arms, you can. If you want to come out and skip the legs and just come into the arms, you can. So I'm going to start by standing on my right leg, lift my left knee, crossing my upper inner thighs, and then hugging in towards the midline. So if my foot's winging out to the side, I'm going to try to hug in, and of course, as long as that is okay for your knees. Sitting back a bit, arms extend out. Now I'm going to take my right arm underneath my left, and then I'm going to lift my elbows, shoulders roll back, core is engaged, and I'm going to connect into my breath. At the same time, everything's hugging towards the midline. And if you fall out or you're dive bombing eagle, then just come on out. And when you're ready, we're going to release our arms, release our legs. Take a breath here, shake it out if you need to. Just take a moment to feel both feet on the ground. All right, so challenging pose. Again, skip part of it if you want. So the other side's going to feel different. Perhaps when you lift your right knee, hug in, upper inner thighs, and this time left arm underneath your right. Or just work with the arms or just work with the legs. Try to lift your elbows, shoulders roll back. Everything's hugging towards the midline. When you're ready, releasing your arms, your legs. Excuse me, shake it out a little bit. And then take a moment here. Pause, both feet rooted. So coming to step forward now at the front of your mat if you've turned in at all. Take a breath in, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. And take an inhale to lift up halfway. Let's step our left foot back for warrior one. So for me, my legs are really tight. I take quite a short stride so that my back heel stays planted. Back foot's angled off towards the front, and then settle into your front knee here. Hands to your hip, shoulders back. Good, connecting into your breath. I'm going to take goddess or cactus arms. Elbows lift up in line with my shoulders, shoulders wrap back, and connecting into my breath here. Couple more breaths. Any arm variation you like. You could have your hands on your hips, hands at heart center, arms overhead. Now when you're ready, start to straighten out your front leg. You could bring your hands to your hips or hands to heart center. Little bend to your front knee as you hinge forward and down. Now for those of you that have yoga blocks, you could have your hands on blocks, brings the floor a little bit closer. They have 3 heights. Walk your hands back so they're underneath your shoulders so you're not extending your arms forward here perhaps. And if your back heel's lifting, just take your back foot forward a bit, shorter stride, maybe folding in over your front leg. And you might feel something in your leg. I always like this one. You might feel something. Most people feel a lot in the back of their leg in this pose. So unless you have miraculously have really open hamstrings, which I don't come across very often. Maybe just a couple people in my teaching years, my years and years of teaching. Alright, so start to lift up halfway here. Walk your hands forward, lift your back leg up. You could keep your back leg lifted this way. For those of you that want to come into half moon pose and know it, turn your hip open, and you could keep both hands down. You could bring your left hand to your left hip. You could turn open or extend up here, connecting to your breath wherever it is that you are. And then we're going to step forward, coming back to our forward fold here. Take a clearing breath. Let your head release. Maybe shake out your arms. Take an inhale to lift up halfway, and then exhale, fold in. And let's step our right foot back. Angle your back foot a little bit towards the front corner of your mat, and rise for warrior one. Hands on your hips again. So last time I did goddess cactus arms. This time I'm going to clasp my hands behind me, shoulders back, and I'm going to work my arms straight here. But you could take any arm variation you like, connecting into your breath. And when you're ready, straighten out your front leg, hands to your hips, hinging forward and down, again reaching for your blocks, bringing them underneath your shoulders or hands underneath your shoulders. And if you need to, take your back foot in slightly. And then you could fold in here. Connecting to your breath. Relax your shoulders. And when you're ready, we're going to start to lift up halfway again. For those of you that lifted your back leg up, you can keep it up and just hold there until you need to come into your forward fold. Anyone that took it into half moon or towards half moon, make your way there. And just whenever you're ready, coming into your standing forward fold, taking a clearing breath, letting your head release, maybe let your arms hang or grab opposite elbows just for a couple breaths here. When you're ready, inhale, lift up halfway, exhale, fold, and we're going to step back to plank. Knees up or knees down, let's lower all the way to the ground. All right, so we're going to come into a shoulder opener here. If you have some issues with your shoulder, please be very mindful of your movement in this one. If it feels at all like it's creating discomfort or pain, please come on out. So I'm going to start with my left arm extending right out towards the left. I'm going to push into my right hand. I'm going to roll out over to my left side. My head comes down. My leg can come wherever it's going to land, or again, if this is causing issues in your shoulder, come on out. So I'll show you what it looks like on the other side. Like this. And your other hand can be propped up in front of you for a little bit of support. For those of you that feel quite comfortable here, you can bring your hand around, and wherever your top leg lands, it feels comfortable. Same with your bottom. And again, if this feels like it's putting too much pressure on your shoulder, you could also roll in a little closer towards the floor on the front of your body. Or just come on out. Couple more breaths here on this side. And just as you're ready, you're going to release onto the front of your body. And we're going to come to the other side. And again, one side might feel very different than the other. You could also move actually your arm a little bit closer, so that's not extended straight out. Maybe it's coming more towards your hip here, okay? So just trusting in your body's wisdom, knowing what you need. A few more deep breaths here. Try to relax towards the floor. You're ready, coming all the way back. Let's take our palms, stack your palms, elbows wide. Take one knee up to the side. Turn your head. Take a couple deep breaths here. And then extend that leg back. And option here to come into low cobra. So we did that earlier. Hands underneath your shoulders. Shoulders rolling back and down. Or we're going to come up into Sphinx Pose. We did this, if you joined me yesterday, we did this yesterday here, or even for some of you, Swan Pose here. Remembering if you're feeling pinching into your low back, it's gone a little bit too far, so just lower yourself down a bit. When you're ready, coming down, stacking your palms, sliding your other knee up to the side. Connect to your breath here. And just as you're ready, coming to the center, let's come up to tabletop. Spend maybe 3-4 breaths in child's pose if you like, just to lengthen out your lower back after that. And just as you're ready, we're going to rise. We're going to come up to our seats. And so coming up to your seat, I'm just going to double check where we're at for time. Oh boy. Okay. So starting with your fingertips behind you, and you can place your palms flat. I like to bring my fingertips to the ground. Roll your shoulders back and down, and maybe lift through the center of your chest slightly. And if you like, you could also start to look up towards the ceiling slightly. Take a couple deep breaths into your heart space here. Your knees can be bent, or actually your legs could also be extended here. And just as you're ready, we're going to come back forward. Now, if you're rounding back when you sit and your lower back rounds back like this, and you have a hard time sitting upright, come to sit up on a block or a rolled up blanket or something that's going to elevate your hips a little bit. This is going to help bring your spine into more of a neutral place. When you wiggle forward, you can get more of your upper body upright. Start with your right, left leg extended, right foot draws in, or you can have both legs extended. Of course, that doesn't feel good to bend your knee. We're going to turn towards the left here. So the more your legs out towards the side, the more of a twist. The more it's in the center, the less of a twist. Start with your fingertips beside you, lengthen through your spine. Flex your toes of your left foot. And you could stay here, or you could begin to lean forward and down, or you could, if you're leaning forward a lot, bring your hands to either side of your front leg. You could hold your shin or your ankle or your foot. And if you're holding on, you could draw your leg back in, elbows wide. We did this little toe lock with our forward fold standing earlier. Shoulders back and down, folding in towards your leg. Some of you that have yoga straps here could also hold the strap and use that as a bit of a support. Couple more breaths here. When you're ready, we're going to lift up. I'm going to give everyone an option. You can just come on out of the pose here, or bring your right hand behind you, lift your hips up and send your hips forward. Maybe extend your left arm up towards the ceiling. And then just as you're ready, we're going to come back down and we're going to switch sides here. Right leg's extending, fingertips beside you, lengthening upwards, maybe turning towards your front leg, leaning in. Some of you might just stay here with your fingertips behind you, okay, to lift upright. That might be enough. Some of you are going to fold forward. As you're folding forward and down, you can let your chin come slightly towards your chest just to soften the back of your neck. Breathe into the back of your body. Hips up and maybe reach your right arm up behind you. And as you're ready, we're going to lower, come back down, and extend both legs forward. Maybe give them a little bit of a shake out. Before we come onto our back, we're going to come into bound angle. So feet together, knees wide. And you could have your heels in closer. If you're sitting up on a block, it'll give you a little bit more height to lean in. Again, just as our last pose, you could have your fingertips beside you and use that to lean forward, or just to stay upright. Okay, you could also have your heels a little bit further away from you, a little bit more space. For those of you that can fold in, you could also come forward and down. Let your chin come towards your chest. And connect into your breath here. It's really great to see everybody. I'm super excited to be teaching from home and have this time to do that. Share with your friends if you think your friends would be interested. I know a lot of people have just started yoga practice. They feel comfortable in their home practicing online. Share with your friends, invite your friends. I started an event for the next couple weeks of classes. Comment, share on your page. Be great, be awesome. I appreciate all of you. It's so awesome to be here, and really looking forward to some more classes. And I'd love to hear what you'd like to focus on. Right now I've been kind of just doing all levels classes, some a little bit more gentle, some a little bit more, but if you have ideas or there's things that you'd like to see, please let me know. I can shape the classes a little differently each day. So when you're ready, let's come up, draw your knees in. I'm going to lean back here a bit, feet wide, and windshield wiper or release my knees from side to side a few times. And if you're sitting on a block, you can bring that block down. I'm going to actually get you to lie down, so you can come to lie down. Great. Check the time. Okay. So come to lie on your back when you're ready. Bring your knees up into your chest here. Rock a little bit from side to side if you like. I'm going to come into happy baby pose today, so you can bring your knees wide to the side. You could grab behind your knee if you like, and this is an option for some people. Some people you could grab a hold of your ankles or your shins. For others, you could grab the sides of your feet and draw down. So either way, you're drawing down your legs down. Shoulders come back down towards the floor. Take a few more deep breaths into your belly. If you're comfortable with just listening to my voice with the instruction, you could close your eyes here and just draw into your breath, draw into your body a bit more. So just whenever you're ready, we're going to release happy baby. Bring your feet to the ground. We're going to take a twist over towards the right. So you can bring your knees up and over to the right. I will often bring my hips over to the opposite side. So I'm going to move my hips to the left first and then knees over to the right. Try to settle your legs towards the floor. So in whatever way that makes sense for you, to bring your feet and your bottom leg down. You could also extend out through your arms, or I use my right hand to hold my knees down a little bit. And then soften towards the floor, let your shoulder blades relax, come back to your breath. Just a couple more breaths here. When you're ready, we're going to come back through the center, over to the other side. So knees over to the left. Connecting to your breath here. Trying to soften, let the weight of your body release towards the floor. So soften into that space between your mat and your body. As you're ready, coming back to the center, bring your hips back towards the middle of your mat. So I'm going to bring my knees up into my chest one more time. If there's anything else that you'd like to do here for the next minute or minute and a half to finish off your practice, you could come into a bridge pose. Some of you may want to find bound angle here again, feet together, knees wide. You could extend your legs up towards the ceiling. Some of you practice other things that I'm not going to teach online just because it's a little bit of risk when I can't see and people aren't used to practicing certain postures. So we are going to move into Shavasana next. So if you feel like you're ready for that already, that's great. You could extend out through your legs, you could extend out through your arms. Take a couple clearing breaths and settle in. If you're not quite there and you're in another pose, just give yourself maybe another 5 or so breaths, and then start to make your way into Shavasana. And if Shavasana, if lying on your back isn't comfortable, find a comfortable place on your side, or maybe child's pose, or maybe coming to your seat works better. And when you are in Shavasana, you could clear out your breath a couple times and just give yourself permission to let go completely. Just allow yourself to settle in here. Just allow yourself to settle. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Make some gentle movement with your body. Maybe your ankles, your wrists, your fingers, your toes. If you like, give yourself a full body stretch. And bring your knees up into your chest. Just taking your time, coming onto your side for a few breaths before making your way up to your seat. As you're ready, coming up to your seat. Take a moment to reconnect to your breath. You can bring your palms together at your heart or hands over your heart center, and then bow your mind, your head towards your heart in gratitude. When we get too much in our minds, we can move into so much fear and uncertainty and just all those things that take us away from our center. And we can feel into that, into our heart, and just let it pass, let it move through you with your breath or some movement or any other practices that help to support you. And I know moving my body helps to move some of that out, so I can just be more grounded and more centered, even if it's just for the next few moments. So really thank yourself for being here today. I'm going to close the practice with an Om, and again you can join in if you like. Start with a clearing breath again. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. And then inhale. Thanks everyone. Namaste. Thanks everyone. Thanks for being here again this morning, and it's so lovely to see so many of you joining and practicing and for hearing your messages. I'd love to hear from you. If you think you know anyone that would benefit, any friends, anyone that you'd like to invite them to my page or invite them to the event, or share it. Thank you for those of you that have done that already. It's so awesome, and I'm so happy to see you. Yeah, we'll see you soon. I think I'm back here tomorrow morning. Yeah, I've posted it all up, and I'm just winging it right now. I've got lots of time, and send me some requests. I'd love to hear what you'd like to do. Hi everybody. Thanks for all the messages. I love hearing from you. Thank you. And yeah, have a wonderful day. Enjoy the sun today if you can. Okay, bye.